Today I was scrolling on Instagram Reels, as I way too often do, and I saw this video of prime Houston Rockets James Harden. I got all nostalgic. I started to think about the memories, the stepbacks, the true good times of James Harden with the Rockets, before the fat suit, before the trade, before all the drama. I truly had forgotten about 2018 MVP James Harden and just how dominant he was. So I decided, let's go back and look at 2018 James Harden, because I guarantee you have to.
Harden shake and bake, steps back, three-pointer. The drive and the slam. Oh, that was a big hammer.
For some context, James Harden had already finished second in MVP voting in 2015. He fell to Stephen Curry, which you cannot deny he deserved. The Warriors went 67-15. They were the first seed in the West. They won the NBA championship, and Curry was the engine to their success. Now, in 2017, the Rockets were one of the most explosive teams in the NBA under new head coach Mike D'Antoni. The run-and gun offense was on steroids in Houston, with James Harden leading the way, averaging 29 points, 8 boards, 11 assists, and 1.5 steals per game, taking the Rockets to the third seed in the Western Conference, with his supporting cast being Lou Williams, Eric Gordon, and Ryan Anderson. No disrespect to any of these guys, they're all solid players, but this was not going to get you close to an NBA championship. Harden had a great year. He put Houston on his back, as he so often did. Unfortunately, a certain point guard from Oklahoma City also put his team on his back in dominating fashion. Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, 31 points, 10.7 boards, and 10.4 assists a night, leading the Thunder to the 6th seed in the West. Even though on paper Westbrook's numbers do look better, there were several fans and analysts alike that were very big advocates for James Harden to win MVP in 2017. This narrative got even stronger when the two matched up against each other in the first round of the playoffs, and the Rockets won in 5 games behind 37, 35, 44, and 34-point clinics from James Harden. Unfortunately for Harden, the panel respected Russell Westbrook's triple-double, as well as him literally having zero help around him, clawing the Thunder on what otherwise would have been an average team to the playoffs, and Russell Westbrook won the 2017 MVP. Losing to Westbrook absolutely fueled James Harden. He despised it. He even said he thought winning should be the most important factor, and comparatively, James Harden did put up similar stats with way more wins in the win column with not that much more help. I believe this second place finish helped define James Harden, not only in 2018, but just in his career as a whole. I believe he still holds it very personal. Everyone knew that 2018 was going to be a big year for James Harden, but the Rockets needed to get him a second star. Enter Chris Paul, who was desperately looking to leave Los Angeles. Now, looking back, the Rockets got a deal for him, shipping Sam Dekker, Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, and a top 3 protected first-round pick. This was seen as a great move for Houston, even at the time. They paired James Harden with a star at the 1, something that he had not seen since he came off the bench in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook. This duo was seen as one of the scariest in the league, and it made many, myself included, excited for the 2017-2018 season to get underway. The opening game for James Harden, CP3, and the rest of this new-look Rocket squad was against the defending champion Golden State Warriors at Oracle Arena. Everyone knew that this was going to be a battle, but I don't think many were expecting this.
Harden on the drive, and he finally played together for a total of about 8. Final seconds of the first. Here's Harden. Yes. Harden played tightly by Curry. Hoop. Harden got the step and scored. Well, Tucker hits both. They'll check it out. It appears
Houston wins as you see them celebrating under the basket.
James Harden opened the season with a 27-point, 11-assist double-double to lead the Rockets to a 122-121 victory. This was also in part to Eric Gordon's 24-point clinic. Chris Paul really didn't do much on the scoreboard, but 8 boards and 10 assists freed up the Rockets' offense. Was it possible that the Warriors had met their match? More on that later. The Rockets would continue this hot start with wins in 7 of their first 10 games, with the only losses coming to the Memphis Grizzlies twice and the process 76ers. James Harden was doing what he always does, scoring at will. It honestly looked easy out there with 27 against the Kings, 29 against the Mavs, and 27 against my Hornets. Harden's first 30 bomb of the season would come in a 22-point win over the New York Knicks, who were struggling to find their identity post Carmelo Anthony. Just days later against the Utah Jazz, James Harden did this.
We got all the big money this summer. Come on.
Ryan kept it alive, and Harden finished it off. Denver drafted him, and Harden puts it up in there. Pulls the trigger. Got it!
They're good.
Harden hits it. He picked him up, changed his hands, jumps it up and in. On the drive. Harden down bucket. 50 points for Harden. 57. Alvin has 57.
He had his, at the time, career high 56 points on an insane 76% from the field and 85% from three in a 137-110 dub. This was the moment when everyone knew this was not a normal season for the Rockets, and this definitely was not a normal season for James Harden. He was on a mission to get what he felt was rightfully his. His next moment of greatness came just days later in a 38-point bomb against the Grizzlies. Then a week later, a 48.7 assist game against the Suns. Back that up with two 37-point games against the Knicks and Nets. The Rockets entered December at 17-4, but the Beard wasn't done putting on a show in 2017, averaging 33.6 points and 8 assists in the month of December alone. Some of these games include a 48-point performance in a win over the Trailblazers, a 26.17 assist 6-steal game versus the Pelicans, back-to-back 51-point performances at home and losses to the Lakers and Clippers, and a 40-point game against the Lakers on New Year's Eve. The highlight of the season for the NBA was the Rockets Thunder on Christmas Day, the first time that Russell Westbrook and James Harden would go head-to-head since their MVP duel the year prior. Unfortunately for the Rockets and Harden, OKC and Westbrook got the dub 107-112. Russ dropped 31 points, 6 boards, 11 assists, and 3 steals on 50% field goal percentage. The Beard dropped 29, but just 38% from the field. 2018 did not get off to the best start for Harden either. He would miss the first 7 games, and when he returned, he'd only have 10 points on 3 of 15 from the field. He would get back into the rhythm with 5 straight 20-plus games, as he was also announced as an all-star starter, but nobody, and I mean nobody, was expecting what was coming on January 30th.
As he goes to the basket again, lays it up and in. So they pick with Harden, a one-man gang. Will James go alley-oop to Terry? Sets, fires, hits. Take a shot. He puts it up, and it goes!
Down to 3. Harden trying to step back. He does.
Oh! James Harden!
Against a playoff-level Orlando Magic team, James Harden scored a 60-point triple-double, going 63% from the field and 17 of 18 from the free throw line. This barely got Houston over the hump, winning 114-107, and James Harden was officially the talk of the NBA, gaining MVP traction. The best part, the Rockets were the best team in basketball. Yes, better than KD, Steph, and the Warriors. Houston was hitting their stride at the right point in the season. Mike D'Antoni's shoot-at-will offense was working, and Chris Paul, after missing most of the early half of the season, was returning and getting into his rhythm. The All-Star break proved to be very valuable, as when the league started back, James Harden put on a clinic with a 31 and 41-point performance against the Timberwolves and Nuggets. Then came a 26-point, 10-board, 11-assist triple-double in a defensive win over the Jazz. By this point, the Rockets were 47-13, entering the end of the regular season. Harden's final 40-point game would come against the Blazers on the road, another close win highlighted by the Beard scoring. The Rockets finished the year at 65-17, locking up the first seed in the West. Mike D'Antoni was named Coach of the Year. We'd have to wait on the MVP for a little bit, but this was a race between James Harden, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Harden finished the regular season averaging 30 points, 9 assists, and almost 2 steals a night. Playoff time hits, and the question is, who's going to come out the West? The Warriors, who on paper should be light years ahead with 4 All-Stars in their starting 5, or the Rockets, whose running gun offense, highlighted by James Harden and CP3, proved to fare well? Before we answer that question, let's see the Rockets' path. First round, Houston plays the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves were much better than their record showed. The lineup of Jeff Teague, Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, Taj Gibson, and Karl Anthony Towns was low-key nice, with solid bench vets Derrick Rose and Jamal Crawford. There were actually some that really believed Minnesota could make a run, but Game 1 taught us a different story. Although close, James Harden and the Rockets sealed the deal. Harden dropped 44 and 8, while Clint Capella had a 24-point, 12-board double-double to take the dub 104-101. Besides this game, there wasn't a game within 16 points, with a 20-point Houston win in Game 2, a 16-point win for the Wolves on their home floor in Game 3, and then 2 closeouts for the Rockets in 4 and 5. Harden 36 in Game 4 and 24 in Game 5, helping out Clint Capella and CP3 as they pretty much led the offense. Next was the Utah Jazz, who in the regular season the Rockets had no problem beating. This team was fine with rookie Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but Houston overmatched them, winning the series in 5 games by an average margin of 14.5 points. James Harden led the way as expected, averaging 28 points and 7.5 assists, highlighted by a 41-point Game 1 and a 32-point Game 2. The big three of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Clint Capella were near unstoppable heading into the Western Conference Finals to play Satan. My bad, that's just what the league called the Warriors in 2018. This series was the Rockets' chance, a chance to show the league that the super team was beatable and in fact human. I think I was one of the few actually pulling for the Warriors, as I was just a huge Stephen Curry fan. The Rockets had home court advantage, and with the presumptuous MVP on their side, no way they can lose, right? Right? Well, game one was a gut punch. The Warriors wanted this bad. It was like they bottled up all their anger and poured it into Houston game one. 119 to 106, led by 37 from KD and 28 from Klay Thompson. Harden dropped 40 while CP3 dropped 23, 9, and 11, but it just wasn't enough. Game two, now that was a different story. The Rockets came back with vengeance, winning 127 to 105. Houston took advantage of Klay Thompson's measly 8 points and Steph Curry's below average shooting night and turned it into dominance with 27 and 10 boards from James Harden, 16 from Paul, and a shocking 27 from Eric Gordon off the bench and 22 from PJ Tucker to even the series back up, headed to Golden State. Yikes. Game three. This one's painful. The Warriors won by 41, 85 to 126, highlighted by a 38-point fourth quarter from the Dubs. The Rockets shot 39% as a team, and Harden was held to a team-high 20 on 7 to 16 from the field. Not awful, but compared to Steph Curry's 35, yeah, this one's not good. Game four is critical. Let Golden State win, and this series is basically wraps. Houston knows this, so on the road, they play a super tight game in Oracle. After going down 12-0 early, Houston clawed their way back, highlighted by James Harden, his speed and ability to hit basically anything. That's what allowed Houston to get back in this game. The Warriors stayed hot, leaving this game to be, in my eyes, the best of the series. Both teams were at their absolute best, but in the end, the Rockets won 95 to 92, tying the series 2-2 going back to Houston. Game 5. This one is incredible. James Harden doesn't shoot the ball that well in this game, going 5 of 21 from the field, and he still ends up with 19, but it's a super clutch 98 to 94 victory, just one game away from Harden's second NBA Finals appearance and his first on the Rockets. The problem, Chris Paul, the most consistent player in this series for Houston, goes down with a knee injury, out for the series. It's all good though. Next man up, right? Well, the Warriors exploited not having Chris Paul. They shot at will, they created turnovers, and at Oracle Arena, Harden put up 32 basically by himself as the Warriors dominated 115 to 86, leaving Game 7 in Houston as a winner-take-all for a trip to the NBA Finals. The Rockets still had a chance. This series definitely was not over because even without CP3, James Harden, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, and even Trevor Ariza were more than capable to score and just play really good, fast Rockets basketball. Game 7 gets underway, and it starts great for Houston. They come out hitting and even enter halftime with a double-digit lead. Then came the famous Warriors third quarter. They outscored Houston 33 to 15, and this is now in the Warriors' favor. But don't fear, the Rockets are one of the best shooting teams of all time.
In their grill.
Harden way off.
Always in striking distance.
Ariza for three. Harden comes up short. Green fire. The other way. Ariza again is on him straight, doing it here in the third per game during the season. It's hardly forced to three.
Yeah, the Rockets go cold down the stretch. They miss a record-breaking 27 consecutive three-pointers, and James Harden is no exception. He went 0 of 5 from 3 in the second half, 32 points, but 12 of 29 from the field and 2 of 13 from 3, just 15%. That's not good enough in a closeout game. The Warriors won it 101 to 92. The Rockets are lucky they didn't lose worse. There are so many questions surrounding this game, like what if CP3 is there? What if Harden hits a few threes? And there's a lot to speculate. But at the end of the day, the Rockets sold. James Harden did not shoot well, particularly from deep, and he kept firing. Following the season's end at the NBA awards ceremony, James Harden was named the 2017-2018 NBA MVP, gaining 86 of the 101 first-place votes. Harden's 2018 season didn't end the way you'd want as a player, but that does not take away the incredible year he had. He put Houston on his back time after time after time, and even though statistically you can say, oh, well, this season was better for him or that season was better, at the end of the day, 2018 was when he had the MVP. 2018 is when he almost led his team to the finals. 2018 is when the entire league media said James Harden deserves MVP. On the eye test, James Harden's 2018 season was near unhuman, and it's going to be really hard to replicate anytime soon.